Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Wicked Good Show. I'm your co-host Dylan here with my buddy Brian. Brian, big, super exciting episode here today. Say hi to the people first.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited to talk about the Joker today. Or Joker, just Joker.
Just Joker.
Just Joker, which we saw last night.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a very, very interesting movie. I'm very much looking forward to talking with you. I don't know your take on it at all. I think you might sort of have an idea of how I feel about it, but I don't know your take at all on it yet. But we're going to be getting to that shortly. But first up, we have some news that's happened in the 2 weeks that we've been on hiatus.
Has it been 2 weeks? Oh man,
I think it's been 2 weeks, and couple big news things too. Really two, and then one thing that we're just going to yell about, but two kind of big newsy things here. Both of them are going to be coming from the superhero movie genre, which Martin Scorsese not a fan of.
I know that was that today he said that or yesterday? Just at the time of recording, very recently, Martin Scorsese dropped a pretty pretentious bombshell on the movie world by saying that superhero films are not cinema.
So I think it's I guess we'll just touch on that quickly. I think it's like a huge dickhead comment from him because he's putting down a shitload of filmmakers for it for literally no reason. It's just like it's a ridiculous comment.
Right.
But also people are acting like Martin Scorsese is the end all be all decider of movies. Like people are acting like, oh my god, Martin Scorsese said Marvel aren't real movies. Like, oh god. Right. Like fuck him. This isn't acceptable. Fuck Hollywood. Marvel's a real movie. Now there's movie purists now fighting with Marvel stands. It's just like a shit show, and I'm like, I really don't care. I'm still going to watch The Irishman when it comes out and probably love the fuck out of it, and I'm still gonna end up watching Avengers for the 12th time and still love the fuck out of it. Right. So. Internet's got to chill out. Martin Scorsese, he's old. He's an old man yelling at the cloud. He's literally one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Like it's like I said, it's a dickhead comment, and I don't fully agree with it. I don't fully disagree with it, but I don't agree with it. Like I said it to you and Timur when we were talking about it earlier today. I don't hold something like Goodfellas to the same standards I would of Avengers: Infinity War. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I still enjoy both of them very, very much so. Both of them are my all-time favorite movies, but I don't know. It was a very unnecessary thing. It was kind of like a shot at I would say the mainstream movie genre of these days.
Right.
And it's kind of funny too because his buddy Steven Spielberg basically said that movies that were put on streaming services shouldn't be nominated for Academy Awards. And Martin Scorsese has a movie that's going to be on a streaming service this year that's going to be nominated for an Academy Award. So it sounds like another old ass director just put trash in his mouth for literally no reason.
Yeah,
and I don't think there's any more to it than that.
Yeah, it seems like older directors are like, anything that isn't exactly what I'm doing right now is not cinema.
Pretty much.
Lately, which, okay, I mean, feel how you want to feel, but that's not going to stop anything or change anything.
The worst part about this whole thing that's been on Twitter today has been just the terrible takes coming out. Like I saw one guy saying like, oh, you know what, this is the proper take. This is the correct take. And one of our boys who I've been referencing a lot on the pod, who I follow on Twitter, who I'm not even going to name because now I'm like, I'm kind of out on this guy because he was not only agreeing with Martin Scorsese, but he said some ridiculous shit. I read some things. Somebody said that the comic book genre hasn't been good since the 1989 Batman movie. That's not correct at all.
That's
a
weird
terrible
thing to say.
I can make an argument that the Batman movie from 1989 is incredibly fucking overrated,
right?
And really just not even par with movies like Batman Begins or anything like that. But old people yelling at the clouds just now causing movie Twitter to just come out of the fucking woodworks and just fight with each other.
Yeah, this is it really ignited a war online. It's just blood in the streets, blood on the timelines, if you will.
Shout out our pal Brian Wong. I hope he didn't see that tweet because I guarantee you, Brian Wong, who only goes to the movie theater 5 times a year, will not be going to the movie theater to see Martin Scorsese's 3.5 hour long Irishman.
Well, yeah, I mean, 3.5 hours. Oh, God, how are we gonna do that?
We're doing it. So we committed. committed. We're actually going to see the movie. I don't know about the weekend it comes out, but we kind of have some time because we're going to see the movie when it's out in theaters. Right. I don't know if it's out like only a week or if it's out between November 1st and then when it releases on.
Yeah, I think
Netflix?
It's probably that. It probably gives it like a classification as like a run so that it can be nominated for awards.
Yeah, like I think like Roma was out for like a week. They did something with like Buster Scruggs was out for like a week only or something like that. So I think we're gonna end up going to see it in the theater. God bless us. We're gonna have to find like a 10:00 showing in the morning.
Yeah.
Just so we can have like half our day left.
Right. Just have
But
anything going.
We're gonna
on.
see it, and then we're gonna record it. So the day that The Irishman drops on Netflix, we are also going to be releasing our review.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't want to spend 3.5 hours in a movie theater, and just wants to watch it at home, they'll have something to listen to that day after they watch it.
Yes.
So oh great. Man, Dylan, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna fast and like not drink any water for like the day before.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be. I'm gonna literally have to get like the largest soda possible. Maybe do the first ever like. I have to go out for a refill for that soda. That's basically like 4 liters of soda.
Oh man! All right. So what's our first story, Dylan?
Let's get into some positive news. So, arguably the biggest news it was the biggest news that's happened since we last recorded, and that is that Spider-Man, Sony, and the MCU are all back together, which is just hopscotch.
Mom and Dad are staying together.
I like to think that it was me yelling at Kevin Feige through the pod because we know he's a listener. But
yeah, I can't imagine it wasn't affected by that.
Turns out Tom Holland, our king, our crown prince, our guy of the new Avengers, he apparently called up
Bob Iger.
Bob Iger, thank you. I clearly did not read the story before we got on.
No, it's all good. I'm a huge Disney fan, like theme park stuff, so I'm very well versed in the Disney CEO and their various names over the years, so I got you there.
He tracked down Bob Iger's people, was like, hey, and I got Bob Iger's number. They were like, Bob. I'm surprised they weren't like, I don't know who that is, Bob Iger. Like, I don't know who Tom Holland is.
Right.
And then eventually they gave Tom Holland his number. Tom Holland called up Bob Iger, like one of the most powerful people in the world.
Yep.
And basically said, hey man, like, let's get this resolved.
Yeah.
Like, we really need, like, let's get this fixed. Or like, this is crazy. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but convinced Bob Iger. Bob Iger called Sony. They worked it out, and Spider-Man is now releasing, I believe, like July 16th, 2021, which is fucking awesome, man. Yeah. That's great. Not only that,
2 years.
Like it's a surprise MCU movie now thrown into that timeline of all the other movies that were coming out. That and Spider-Man, like we mentioned, was not one of those movies originally, obviously because they didn't have a deal in place.
Yeah, we were surprised at first when we didn't really know what was happening, but this is exciting news.
I agree, and I from the stories I'm reading, I don't believe Kevin Feige deserves like any credit for this at all, based on what I read. This seems to be Bob Iger, who obviously has more power than Kevin Feige with Disney and Marvel. Said, you know what, fuck this, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna do it. And here we are, baby. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man home. He's just home. He's back home. Spider-Man back home.
Back home, yeah. It would be apt because he's back home with Disney. He's back home in New York after this one. Could actually be the title. We'll see.
That's going to be the summer of movies, buddy, because we have Batman, which is scheduled to come out, I believe, like 2 or 3 weeks before Spider-Man is. So that's just... And we're going to be talking about Batman shortly. That is going to be fucking grade A. Mwah. That's going to be awesome, buddy. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So,
Spider-Man. I guess this isn't part of our thing. I don't want to throw too big of a curveball, but did you get the Christopher Nolan trailer before your showing of the Joker?
No, I did not.
Okay.
So I ended up getting that fucking Harley Quinn It trailer.
Again?
For some reason. Again. And I also I got the Dr. Sleep trailer. That's all I got. Oh, and I got the Star Wars trailer, but not the new Star Wars trailer that we saw in IMAX, the old one.
Gotcha.
Of her flipping over the TIE fighter.
Gotcha.
So it was a bunch of outdated trailers. It was actually sort of depressing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, well, never mind. We'll talk about it when you actually see the trailer.
I've seen it, though. I've seen it. If you can talk Tenet, we can talk Tenet, baby.
Yeah, because Robert Pattinson's in that, yes. Thought I saw his name in the credits.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure you didn't see the trailer. I haven't.
No, he's not in the trailer.
So you see, you only see John David Washington. Mm-hmm. It's like the glass that's all shot up and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was watching that, after it was over, the guy next to me, to his friend, was like, "I'm in," and I was like, "I feel that, man. Fucking in too."
It's a very Christopher Nolan teaser, where like you have it's like just sound and maybe half a voiceover. I was actually listening to another podcast that was discussing Joker today, and they were talking about the original teaser that came out for The Dark Knight, and I ended up looking it up. Man, first off, I remember that was back in the days, like YouTube was still pretty young, but I was scouring YouTube to try to find it, because you still pretty much had to go to the theaters to be able to see trailers back then.
Right.
They weren't dropping online like they were now. They were maybe like a few weeks after, but
oh my god,
yeah,
dude, I remember downloading for like 20 minutes on the Apple homepage just to see the Public Enemies trailer. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. Sorry, go on.
What a random movie.
I know.
To wait to download. Yeah, no. So the Dark Knight trailer, it's literally very similar to Tenet, where like it's just like it zooms in. And then it creates like the Batman logo, and then it's just a shitload of voiceovers. So like Christopher Nolan, this is like he just has like this formula for like these teasers. It's literally nothing, and it just pulls you in immediately because it's Christopher Nolan. This cast is fucking, it's amazing. John David Washington, Robert Pattinson are the two leads. Of course, what our boy who played Alfred's in it. Michael Caine, who's in all the Christopher Nolan movies. Is going to be in it. That's great. Yeah, that comes out next summer, and that's probably going to be the blockbuster of next year.
Oh, no,
I can't really think of anything that's coming out next summer right off the top of my head.
I'm sure there's a Marvel movie out there too.
We have Black Widow in like May.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so Tenet's gonna be huge next summer. That's gonna be like a huge big IMAX movie.
Yeah.
And we still don't have like a full idea of what it is. Like,
I did get the full Birds of Prey trailer, also, and honestly, I thought it was better than the first one. I'm kind of excited for it. I'm into a silly Harley Quinn movie. I don't know.
I'm not there with you. I am sure I'm not.
All right. Anyway, sorry. What? Speaking of outrage, or speaking of DC, which one we going to first?
No, we're gonna go to outrage first. Right. So something that I've been really looking forward to, the info for the Infinity Saga Collector's Edition box set came out today.
Yes.
And
so this is all 23 movies.
All
correct?
23 movies. You get all 23 movies. You get an exclusive Matt Ferguson lithograph, which is a picture of all the Avengers and Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. You get like some like fake ass letter from Kevin Feige, and you get a numbered limited edition collection. It just says Infinity Saga, and it looks like there's some signatures on there. And then, but like they're all like copies, you know what I mean? It's not like they're like the originals. So I don't know.
Right.
And then you get all 23 movies plus an exclusive bonus disc. It's all. This is the price for 4K and Blu-ray. Which I don't know how that works out.
Right.
$550.
Yikes.
Which
Yikes.
equals out to still about $23 about $23 per movie.
Right.
Which is essentially the full price they're at right now.
Yeah. Honestly, like if I went into Best Buy and was looking, it's like, $23 for a Blu-ray of Captain America: Civil War, I'd be like, no thanks. So I'm not spending this much money on all these movies.
Not only that, I'm pretty sure if not all of these movies are going to be on Disney Plus. Second, I already own half of these movies. Some on 4K, some on Blu-ray. So I now have to rebuy all these. Like, I would be fine. I think 300 would be my limit. I maybe even bite into something like 350. $550. No, thank you.
I was expecting like 250 to be honest.
That's nuts.
I was like 250. Okay, I can see it. That's a lot of movies. Like $10 and change per movie. It's reasonable. But
I am not paying $23 to see for Thor 2 on 4K.
Yeah.
I refuse to do that.
I mean, that's not an unreasonable standstill, and I can't disagree with you in any way.
Don't get me wrong; it looks awesome, and I'm probably gonna end up buying it. But
no,
just right now I'm very upset.
Right.
That is a fuckload of money.
Yeah, man. Does it come in like a cool like Thanos' head or anything, or is it just like a box set?
It's just in a box. I was really like, I thought there was gonna be some sort of like Infinity Gauntlet with it. There's not. I mean, the disc, like each movie, each film has like its own disc like sleeve box thingy, and like when you put them all together in the box set, it creates like a picture that also comes with the box set. It's there. It's gonna be something that probably sells out immediately too, because they're gonna be the collectors to get this, which all the power to them. This is something I remember when the Star Wars series came out on Blu-ray and like that box set. And I remember like when it first came out, it was something like it was like $200, and I was like, as a kid, I was like, oh, good Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But $550, whoa, Nelly.
Yeah, and actually, now I'm thinking about it, do they even do like cool, like I remember The Walking Dead season 2 had like a zombie with the screwdriver in its eye, for their season DVD. Do they even do stuff like that anymore? Or is that just like a relic of the past that
I partially think. I think the DVD is on its way out anyway.
Yeah,
I think the DVD is probably going to be obsolete in the next 10 years. I've the past like 5 movies I bought, and including Spider-Man and Endgame, have been digitally in 4K.
Right.
The key with 4K digitally, you got to hardwire it in. Shout out Brian Wong. You got to hardwire it into the Ethernet, or else you're not going to get pure 4K, and it's going to look like shit.
Gotcha. So for anyone out there, I don't even know like. The last movie I bought on regular DVD, not even Blu-ray, was probably like Wish You Were Here or Wish I Was Here. That Zach Braff kickstarted movie. That I'm a huge fan of Scrubs and a big fan of Zach Braff. Holy shit, dude, that movie is awful. Watched like half of it and was like, nah, I'm out.
No, I do remember that whole thing was like crowdfunded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The entire thing. Yeah.
It was awful.
That was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the last DVD you bought?
That was, and I've received Green Lantern on DVD several times. So
you're a big Green Lantern fan. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, everyone knows Aquaman. Green Lantern.
You've seen Green Lantern more than you've seen Aquaman. How outrageous is that?
Dude, I've seen Green Lantern because when people buy it, they're like, "Oh, we should watch it." And then
let's watch it right now.
Yeah,
put it in the
like, all right, let's do it. I've seen it like 5 times. And I told my friend Ryan, friend of the show, Ryan, you've seen him on other stuff, and he's like, that's honestly the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. I wish that weren't the case for you.
I mean, you now have like 5 Green Lantern coasters you can use.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, Dylan, is there any news that could cheer me up, that bring me out of this Green Lantern funk that I'm in right now?
Sure can. So the other big news that dropped while we were on hiatus is that Jonah Hill is apparently going to be playing one of the Batman villains in the upcoming The Batman. The obvious go-to part would be the Penguin. I can also really see him as a Riddler. As we've joked before, and as we joked together on the side, that he could play the infamous villain Calendar Man.
Yes,
perhaps
that'd be wonderful.
Which is just the most outrageous name for any of these villains. Fucking Calendar Man, who just kills on these special days. Who we also talked about when we found out the plot of the Batman, which was the Long Halloween.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Yes, that is pretty ridiculous. As I've said several times in the show, the most comic book storyline of all time. It's ridiculous, but yeah, we got Jonah Hill. Obviously, Jonah Hill, if you haven't been paying attention, still think he's the guy from Superbad. Jonah Hill's a legit like capital A actor now.
Oh, for sure. He's probably the most versatile actor in Hollywood. He can nail both drama and comedy. That all changed with him for Moneyball.
Right.
When he got nominated. Yeah, that was a huge deal for him.
Moneyball,
yeah, I love this.
Maniac, if you want to watch a really good limited series on Netflix, him and Emma Stone, wonderful in it. And Jonah Hill's awesome. So any movie you can get him in, it's like huge win. Also, rumor has it Jeffrey Wright for Commissioner Gordon.
I think apparently this one's a little more set in stone. I don't think either are official. But yeah, Jeffrey Wright, Westworld, Commissioner Gordon. That's like a perfect cast.
Yeah,
that's great.
So good.
It kind of sucks that our boy J.K. Simmons isn't going to be coming back because he played Commissioner Gordon for one fucking scene in Justice League.
Yeah, he got weirdly jacked for that one scene too, where he was in a trench coat. I don't understand why he got in such good shape for that role.
Another victim claimed by Zack Snyder and the DCEU creative staff, unfortunately.
Oh man!
So that's another Ben Affleck. It's Batman. Him as Commissioner Gordon. A big what if, but they're out. and apparently Jonah Hill and Jeffrey Wright are in. Rob Pattinson. This movie, the more and more I hear about it, the more and more I'm getting excited. Which I obviously got excited for shit like Batman vs Superman, Justice League, Suicide Squad. So
Yeah.
I have a really good feeling about this movie. I don't think Matt Reeves will let me down. I don't particularly care which role Jonah Hill plays because I think he's gonna fucking nail either way. The Penguin is just like it's just too much of like a layup.
Right.
But we haven't seen the Penguin in live action since
Danny DeVito,
Batman Returns. Danny DeVito.
He killed it. He played it too well that no one wants to.
I'd like to see the Penguin, if they're gonna put him in this universe, come back more kind of like the comic books, the like the Arkham games where he's like a real like Cockney, like he's not so much like incredibly deformed where he's just like this Cockney asshole. That's called the Penguin. Like I would like to see that more for they're gonna put the Penguin in this universe. But I can really see Jonah Hill as the Riddler too.
Right.
I can see him do both, and for all we know, he could be playing something completely different.
Yeah, and I know there may be some people who are like, oh, in Gotham there's a Penguin. We haven't seen Gotham, so I'm sure there's a Penguin in Gotham, but we don't know about it. Have you seen Gotham?
The show?
Yeah.
The Penguin's like the main bad guy in that show.
Yeah, I've never seen it, like I said.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I forget his name, but he appeared in an episode of The Walking Dead 2 in the season premiere where all the guys are getting their throats slit. He was one of the guys that got
yes.
slit.
Yeah.
He's great. He's actually fantastic as Penguin.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So if you've been looking for a Penguin portrayal, I guess the Gotham one has it pretty down. But yeah, so this will be interesting. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Obviously, you didn't watch the Birds of Prey trailer, as you said, which doesn't sound like you're excited.
I don't have any comment on it. I don't give a shit.
Right.
That movie's gonna be terrible.
Right. So fair enough. So I guess, Dylan, do you want to get into the review of Joker?
Let's do it. We've been waiting months for this. Let's get into it. We're going to do a quick spoiler-free as always. Yes. First, Brian, I want you to go first.
All right. So Joker, directed by Todd Phillips, director of Old School and The Hangover, starring Joaquin Phoenix, tells the story of Arthur Fleck, I guess the best way to put it, down on his luck man, struggling with mental health issues and his place in society in general, and then through a series of events, it becomes, the Joker. I think that's not a spoiler, right? It's in the trailer. Obviously, it's a Joker origin story. It borrows heavily from like Scorsese style movies. It's very similar to a movie called The Comedian from back in the day as well. But yeah, it's a very like underbelly look at Gotham, something we don't really necessarily get in Batman movies because most of the time it's just dealing with like the criminals, not necessarily the average everyday people just trying to get by in Gotham. It makes Gotham look like a terrible place to live. I don't know why anyone would fucking live there. Horrific. And I think it has a lot of interesting social commentary. Obviously, a lot of people were worried about, incel violence in this movie, or people being inspired by that. But I think the political messages that we'll get into in spoiler talk are quite different than that and kind of are important and do kind of lead to a convincing spiral downward for Arthur Fleck. And then, of course, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing as the Joker. He's amazing as this character. I don't know how you could play this character any better. So for me, I would say definitely go see it. If you're a DC comic books fan, you probably already seen it. And if you're not, a huge comic book fan, this movie doesn't feel too comic booky. I think there's a lot you can find, a lot of enjoyment. If you're a fan of cinema, as some directors might call it, I think there's a lot that can still be enjoyed here. Dylan, what did you think?
First off, score it, you coward.
This is so I'll put it this way. Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the Joker is like a 10 out of 10. The movie itself, for me, is a 7.5 out of 10.
All right, so we're back on to the single digits scale.
Yes, yeah.
We had that one good episode with you with the 0 to 100.
I was just so excited about Ad Astra.
Yeah. So I really like this movie. I'm giving it an 89 out of 100.
Mhm.
I thought Phoenix was just simply unbelievable.
Mhm.
I think it's really hard not to imagine him winning the Oscar right now.
Dude, if he doesn't win the Oscar, I'm boycotting. I'm
I
over it.
It breaks my heart because I'm a big Leo guy, obviously. I thought Leo was outstanding Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have no idea. Unless somebody comes out in the movies that are coming out the rest of the year, blow us away, I have no idea how anyone's going to act as well as Phoenix acting in this movie. This is one of the greatest acting performances I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I agree.
I've shout out to Letterboxd D. I think that's how you say it, or Letterboxd. I don't remember. Tamor, shout out to Tamor. Got us back into it this week, and I have done over 100 reviews this week. My review on this movie, I basically said something along the lines of, I've never seen an actor dissolve completely into a character like this, pretty much since Heath Ledger did the Joker in Dark Knight, and it just so happens to be that it's both the same character. Like I completely forgot I was watching a movie about that was Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I thought I was watching a movie about Arthur Fleck, literally just going insane and turning into the Joker. Like I forgot I was watching a work of fiction. I thought that's how good Joaquin Phoenix is. Like, I'm going to say his name a different 5,000 times during the podcast.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, as you were saying, obviously Heath Ledger is amazing, but Joaquin Phoenix is in every single scene of this movie. This movie is entirely on his back. So if he didn't give such an amazing performance, it wouldn't be, a movie that people would generally enjoy. You know what I mean?
So, so I think excluding the final 30 minutes, which we'll get into in spoiler talk, and just how fucking crazy that was. Excluding the final 30 minutes, this could have been a movie that had nothing to do with DC or nothing to do with the Joker, and I think it maybe would have benefited from that. And I was thinking that until I got into the final 30 minutes.
Right.
The final 30 minutes, you get the Joker.
Yeah.
You get the Joker you were there waiting for. That's not much spoilers. So the final act of the movie, fucking buckle in, baby.
Right.
Because shit pops off. There's first off, the Joker rated R. We need to see the Joker in more rated R movies. I would love for the Batman to be rated R. It's not going to be. I would fucking love that to happen, though. It's just the violence was there. It's something as simple as like the word fuck being involved, add intensity to things. Just everything the way that he spirals out of control, and the way that it just happens in such like a realistic way, how you feel like you would realistically see someone who already has a mental illness go insane. It's just it was extraordinary. And at first, I've had about 24 hours to let this movie settle. At first, I thought the movie was fine, and then I really started thinking about just what I just saw and just how well Phoenix did as the Joker. And I honestly think that it added extra points to this movie. I think the movie itself, kind of to what you said, the movie itself is probably like above average. I don't think it's anything special. Like I said, if pretty much for the first two acts, if this wasn't a movie that involved the Joker or anything with DC, I think it might even be a little bit better because it would be more of a statement on mental health and how it's just not being taken care of in this country. Shit that I'm not smart enough to discuss or even going to attempt to discuss.
Right.
But then it all works up to the final act. And the final act is like one of the best 30 minutes of anything movies I've seen this year. Pretty much just excluding the final act of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So, but then it's up there because pretty much once Arthur Fleck is gone, we get the Joker. Yeah, he's literally unchained, and that's like as far as I'll go without spoiling it. But I was blown away at how that movie ended. It was just unbelievable. And if you think you know what song you'll get when he goes down those stairs that we've seen in the trailer, think again because it's not going to be that song. It's going to be the last song you expect. That was the most shocking thing I've ever seen happen in a movie. In any movie I think I've seen recently, was that song playing when he was like it was like a pump up song, like he was going to the big game. I was like, I literally said out loud, I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then it adds so much to the movie that like you don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake, and like you're literally watching it through an unreliable narrator's eyes because he's literally fucking insane. You still get no secret. He's in the trailer. You see a young Bruce Wayne. You see a Thomas Wayne. That there's still it aids to the story.
Young Alfred.
Young Alfred, which I actually was not expecting.
No, me either.
His performance is just so good. It just adds so much to the movie, which also just aids to why he deserves the Oscar, because he really essentially made this movie.
Oh yeah, no.
This movie without that acting performance, I think we're speaking a very, very different tale.
Yeah, I think so.
But he was just so fucking good, man. I'm just even now just talking about him now. Like like I said, I've had almost 24 hours to let it soak in. I'm just like I'm floored. I don't want to pull the trigger on saying that was maybe the best acting performance I've ever seen, but it's up there. It's honestly up there.
No, I agree. He was wonderful in the part. Everything from even like his voice to his movements as the character, just completely, like you said, he got lost in this character and really became Arthur Fleck and then the Joker.
Like when he runs, he always runs like he has clown shoes on, even when he doesn't have clown shoes on. And it's just like, it just makes so much sense for the character and why he does that. And don't get me wrong, this is one of the most depressing. This is not a feel-good movie at all. You will not leave this theater feeling good, other than seeing one of the best acting performances ever. No, this is a sad, depressing, dark fucking movie. This is a really, really dark movie. The comedy, other than laughing at him just being awkward sometimes, like the comedy in this is purely dark. And I guess even laughing at him for being awkward is the part of the dark comedy. There's a scene that we'll get into in spoilers where it was both intense / one of the more dark comedy hilarious things I've seen in a while.
Right. Well, yeah. Do we want to get into spoiler talk?
Yeah. So I guess we'll just give a quick recap. I'm giving it an 89 out of 100. Brian's giving it a 7.5 out of 100.
Yeah.
But he's given Joaquin Phoenix a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which I'm giving him a 99.9 out of 100.
Right. Yeah, go see it, everybody, if you liked it. And if you haven't seen it yet, thank you so much for checking this out, listening to our spoiler-free review and a little bit of the news.
Shout out Brian Wong, who will be leaving this episode during this time.
Brian Wong, thank you so much for listening, as always. And yeah, we're going to start talking about spoilers, so please turn the podcast off right now.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. All right, spoiler talk. Yeah, so I guess we'll just jump into the scene that I was just talking about right now. So obviously the first scene, and we can get into the scene that led up to this after, but the first scene we really see him just lose his mind. Actually, I guess technically the second, because after he suffocated his mother. The mother, when he started suffocating her, that's really when shit started hitting the fan, obviously.
Yeah, it's really when he became the Joker.
That's when this movie took another turn into being really super fucking dark, which we saw a crazy man. Obviously, the scene in his apartment when he stabs the huge clown friend with a pair of scissors, super fucking brutal, continuously smashes him into the wall. You see his brain matter all over the fucking wall, and then the little short friend freaking out in the background, which is terrible. He just saw one of his friends murder his other friend. Just awful. And they were there to give their condolences for his mom dying. So you kind of get the first. This is a psychopath move by this is now Joker. We'll refer to him as Joker, not Arthur. Yeah. This is Joker, and man, that scene was fucking brutal. But then after, when his friend was like trying to leave, and he's like, you know what, just go. And like at first he jumps at him, which was fucking hilarious, but also terrifying because you really just didn't know what he was going to do. You didn't know like how violent it was about to get or how dark he was. And the friend, he's a dwarf. We'll call him a dwarf to be PC. And he goes up to the door, and Arthur Fleck locked the door when his friends came in with like the top little like chain link lock. And so the friend was too short to be able to reach the door. Yeah. And so Arthur, Joker, who's covered in blood because he just killed his friend. He's all covered in blood. He's trying to grasp what he just did. even though he told his friend to go, and his friend's like, this guy's gonna fucking kill me. The friend is fortunately so short he has to ask Arthur to unlock the door, and that scene was both incredibly intense but also so funny from a dark comedy standpoint.
The line that got me right after he kills him and it's like quiet for a second, he like turns to him, he's like, have you ever watched Murray?
Yes.
I was died at that. I was laughing so hard. It's like, holy shit, this is amazing.
You also get a glimpse that Arthur is still somewhere slightly in there when he kisses him on the forehead and he says, you're the only one that was ever nice to me. He actually does let him go. I didn't think he was going to let him go. So that kind of surprised me. We also have Zazie Beetz and her. They did a really good job at making it very obvious that it was all in his imagination, that he was imagining his life with her.
Right.
And yet the movie still made us think that it was real. They pretty much put us inside his head, which is something I'll give kudos to Todd Phillips for. I thought that was really well done because you honestly had no idea whether it was real or not. Because the first scene that we got where you knew that he was imagining things a lot was when he was in the audience at the Murray show, and he told his sweet story about his mom said that the comedy's best world smile, whatever.
Yeah.
And Murray brought him down. He hugged him and said that was great, whatever. And he said, I wish I had a son like you. So you knew that was fake the whole time. And then so you get this idea that he's crazy, but then we get everything with Zazie Beetz, and I thought it was real right up until one of the more terrifying parts of this movie, which was when I was really like, I don't know how dark this movie's trying to get, was when he's in her apartment. He breaks into her apartment, and she has a young daughter. We've all seen it, so we know the scene I'm talking about. And that scene was terrifying because you had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah,
you did, and
he just had murdered his mom in the last scene.
I guess like a lot of things were left open to interpretation in here. I imagine he killed her.
You think
that's
so?
That's my guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be.
I think part of the open to interpretation too is that maybe he didn't, and that's why his rage was so pent up whenever one of his clown friends came over. Although that guy was also a dick too, and it was one of the reasons why he got fired. So, like, I take that as you will too. He could have just wanted to kill him, but I don't know. I'm glad they didn't show because that's just too dark. Because you got to imagine if he killed her, he probably killed the daughter too, and that's just a dark road I didn't really need to go down at that time.
Right.
But it was terrifying when he's in there. He's in that room, and it's right after he killed his mom, and he's probably trying to grasp that he just killed his mom. He's officially gone insane, and he's trying to determine whether this woman that he was pretending that he's had a relationship this whole time with, whether he's going to kill her or not.
Right.
Just so fucking intense, and this is where we get into the final half hour. Phoenix was just I'm just like floored by just how well he did in all this.
Yeah, I think too, like, everything about this movie like is intense because everything's like a second away from something horrible happening at any moment. You kind of feel like, and that it's the first time that actually happens is on the train when he kills those guys. A kind of like inciting incident, I guess, of the last part of the movie. But it's so interesting how it just switches from like uncomfortable but normal life to just ultra violence in like a split second. Very, very Joker-esque itself in the way it's paced. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, I thought they did for probably the most popular villain in I don't know if I would say fantasy history, but it would definitely in cinema history for Joker up there with Darth Vader. I mean, I'm going down. I'm rambling at this point. Everyone knows who the fuck the Joker is. This is a movie that could have went wrong very, very easily. This is a movie that could have been really fucking bad really easily. And I do think Todd Phillips deserves some credit because he put together a more than competent movie. And like I said, the whole thing, Todd Phillips also co-wrote it. The whole thing with you didn't know what was real or fantasy, and like he kind of tricked the audience into thinking that could have been real. It worked great, but Phoenix is the star of this movie. This is his baby. This is his movie. I think there's probably a good chance that this movie gets at least nominated for Best Picture. Just basically because I think they do like 11 movies now, like it's a shitload of movies.
Yeah, pretty much every movie that is like even halfway decent. Yeah.
So I think this has a good chance. I still think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the favorite to win it right now, at least in my eyes. A movie that we actually texted about with tomorrow before this, Parasite, apparently is unbelievable and is going to be up there. We have a few movies coming out this fall that it's going to be up there. So I think this would be at least be nominated. But like I said, I think he's the front runner, the favorite to win the best actor right now in my eyes. For sure. It's just he was just so goddamn good, and there's just I can't imagine anybody else being better. And I thought Leo was just lights out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he was not better than Phoenix in this movie.
Right, like we've said. I mean, this movie relied 100% on you buying in on Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal. So
can we talk about too? So the whole Thomas Wayne storyline about how, and I guess it was sort of left open to interpretation at the end. You didn't know if he was Thomas Wayne's son or not because we saw that picture. At least this is how I took it. We saw the picture of his mom and it was signed by Thomas Wayne, or at least we thought it could have been signed by Thomas Wayne. And so I took that as maybe, in this, I mean, I guess I'm just running down scenarios now, is that he could have obviously, he's a wicked powerful guy. He could have altered and made it seem like he was adopted. The person keep it sidetracked from the fact that he was the father. I personally don't think he was the father.
I don't think he was either.
It was because I didn't know how they were going to work the Waynes into this, if they were just going to be there and be people. So I thought that whole storyline was interesting. We get him obviously going to Wayne Manor and Bruce, huge mansion with acres and acres of land. For some reason, playing right along the gates. For some reason, they put a play set. The fucking I saw someone on Reddit say we got to see Batman slide down the bat pole. They just put this play set literally right along the gates, along the road, and then on a massive mansion with acres and acres of land, just put it right around the road. That didn't make any sense.
Very weird. I was so confused as to what the fuck was happening in that scene. I was like, "Where are we? What is this?" And then I was like, "Oh, this is Wayne Manor." Okay, I guess.
So I thought that all worked well. I also don't know if it was through his lens or through or he actually was this way, but to make Thomas Wayne like kind of a dick. Not even kind of a dick. He was an asshole. Yeah. He was like a rich dickhead, and like you kind of find yourself rooting for the rioters and the looters. And we obviously see the Waynes get murdered at the end of this movie. Of course, I thought it was going to be Joker. I guess I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah, I'm glad.
They didn't say it was Joe Chill or anything like that, but during the riots, it was indirectly caused by Joker. But I'm glad we saw that. I'm glad we didn't elaborate it on too much because I personally don't think we'll ever see Phoenix play Joker again, which is probably for the best.
No, if this makes a ton of money, Warner Brothers is going to probably make a hard push, but
the timeline is just so fucked too because unless they make the new Batman movie in the early 90s, even still, Arthur Fleck was no less than 25 at least years older than Bruce Wayne. At least 25 years. So to age Arthur Fleck, I think they said he was in his 30s. He was like around 30, I think is what they said in the movie. So to jump at least, I would say it has to be at least 15, 20 years. Like the Joker's old as fuck at that point. He's around like 50.
Yeah.
If you're going to loop him at Rob Pattinson's Batman. So I really don't know. I mean, I think that
it would actually be a much better adversary for Bruce Wayne's Batman. Yeah, I mean, for Ben Affleck's Batman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, which we obviously will never get to. Yeah. So it's like another an unfortunate victim of circumstances. This is not how that will go. But I think this will be it for him. And I just Phoenix is well known. He doesn't do sequels or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I doubt we'll see him again. I also I'm perfectly fine if we don't see the Joker character for a long time, because we obviously had Jared Leto's Joker, which was mixed to say the least. I think that Jared Leto could have been a good Joker. He was just led astray by David Ayers and whatever the fuck DCU tried to do with him.
Yeah.
And obviously Heath Ledger, after he died, it was hard to imagine anybody doing even close to a job that he did. It's tough for me to say that Phoenix was better. I'm going to say he was at least probably up to par.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's hard to, of course, because Heath Ledger passed away, and that adds a whole new element of that, where it's oh, can you even say anyone was better than him? It's a hard thing, but I'll say he played it as well as he possibly could.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting too. Like, of course, there's a lot of chatter online, a lot of blogs and whatnot, and tweets being written about like how this might inspire like violence from, incels or whatever. But I think that's not the message this movie's trying to get across. The message is like, about wealth, disparity, and also society failing the mentally ill in general. Arthur Flex in this movie is in treatment. He has a therapist. He has medications, and then it gets cut and taken away from him. And obviously, it's like, well, you can't blame whatever on that. But it's stuff that people don't talk about or care too much about day to day. But it is important. There are people in society who are just not helped at all, who could be.
Yeah. I don't really want to get into incel talk. Incel, one of my
least favorite words.
No, the incel community, because the incels are a real thing.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking. I'd be better off without them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I don't want to go down to serious talk like that. But I guess like the movie obviously was trying to get across a statement about mental health and how the public isn't doing anything to help it, and the rich definitely don't do anything to help it. I also think this movie kind of like threw away all that by basically saying like in the end, like if this movie was trying to make a statement about mental health, like they ended on a note that like you should just become a murderous psychopath and try to rise people up to be able to do it. So I feel like this movie itself probably like whatever statement it was trying to make kind of got it kind of part of my whole thing with this could have potentially been a better movie as a whole if it wasn't linked to the Joker. I think once everything became the DC universe type and involved the Joker and the Waynes and all that, especially at the end when mass chaos is going on, which like it sort of reminded me of some scenes from The Dark Knight. I feel like the message as a whole got thrown out because it also reminds you that you're in a fictional world where you have basically like a character like Joker where he's obviously mentally ill, but he's also like a murderous psychopath. So like I don't know if they're really trying.
He's not a sympathetic character.
Correct.
He's
correct. Yeah. Because we also one scene that I want to talk about before we get off, the scene where he shoots Robert De Niro.
Oh man,
that scene was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah,
that scene was incredible. The intensity of that scene, you like that would be. I feel like how you would see it in real life on TV too. Like the way you see him just start freaking out. And then he finally shoots Robert De Niro, and then at the very end of that whole scene, where he goes up to like the camera, and he looks into the camera, and we get the shot like through the TV. Yeah. Very, very comic book Batman.
Very The Dark Knight.
Yes.
When he's talking to the camera.
Yes, like, that was fucking awesome.
It was like, oh yeah, that's the fucking Joker right
And then
there.
he throws the gun, he does like the dance and all that. It was like I was like, oh shit, the Joker's here. This is officially the Joker.
I would have actually been okay if that was the last scene.
I thought it was going to be when the camera cut away. I thought it was going to.
It almost feels like everything after that was a little bit like, oh, we need more of a wrap up. We need this to be more connected to Batman.
I was gonna say I'm glad it wasn't though, because the scene after he gets into the car crash and he wipes his blood across his face to make kind of like the new like the paint / like scars marker.
Yeah.
Like he looked fucking incredible. That scene itself looked great. That was awesome. I thought the route this movie was going to go, which I guess I'm sort of glad / I guess I really didn't care, is that he was going to end up being the real Joker, and he was going to be the one that inspired the real Joker or something like that. I thought that was the route they were going to take, to try to eventually maybe work in whatever Joker they were going to have face off with Rob Pattinson, work his way into the universe. But I'm glad they didn't. And obviously the last scene we got, which I didn't even catch up on at first, is he's meeting with the doctor in Arkham Asylum, and as the movie's ending, he's walking out, and I didn't catch this at first. He has like a track of blood on his shoes as he's walking, and it's obviously implying that he killed her.
Yeah.
And the Joker's like double insane. I thought that was it was great.
He's thinking about Bruce Wayne standing there with his parents dead next to him, and he starts laughing. And he's like, oh, do you want to tell me what it was? And he's like, I was just thinking of a joke. And she's like, what was it? And he's like, you wouldn't get it. I was like, ooh, this is dark.
Yeah, it's the final act. Both movie wise and acting wise, that was just it was flawless. And it's tough. It's tough that we won't see him again as the Joker because I think that he was just that good. But at the same time, if seeing him again as the Joker will probably take away from the impact that he has with this movie.
I agree. So, yeah.
Kind of what you said, I wouldn't rule it out because this movie only had a budget of like $50 million. Yeah. It did not cost a lot to make.
Right.
There was little to no CGI involved with it. So this movie's gonna make a fuckload of money. It's gonna make at least $300 million. At least.
Yeah, I might go see it again. Like,
I honestly might too.
Yeah, so I think there are a lot of people in that same boat.
So kind of to your point, it would take a lot of the audience accepting that there's going to be like some sort of time fuck up, as well as Phoenix agreeing to do like a franchise,
right?
Which I really don't think he would. So I really wouldn't hold our breath there. But I mean, we'll see.
It's gonna be like we will give you any amount of money to be in this, please.
And so I guess I kind of want to end the pod by addressing the stair scene that I mentioned earlier. The song of him going down the stairs. So the song is called Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter.
Right.
I've never been more floored by a song being played at any moment in any movie than that song playing that. Like he was like getting ready, pumped up, like he got injured. He was going back out at halftime to bring his
dude. That's the song I associate with like the Ice Cats when I was a kid going to see them.
The fucking Ice Cats.
Like I was so shocked to hear this in this movie.
So make sure you play that fucker before.
All right, yeah, it'll play us out instead of our theme song. Unless YouTube takes it down and then our theme song will play it out, but iTunes doesn't give a shit. So.
All right, buddy, that was it. That was the Joker. 89 out of 100 for me. 7.5 out of 10 for Brian. Fuck yeah, baby. I think we're gonna be talking about this movie a couple more. So, I'm excited. I'm very glad we weren't let down, and I'm actually glad that Phoenix he went up beyond our expectations.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to this. As always, Dylan, where can they find you?
DJ Cleverlang on Twitter with D's, and actually find me on Letterboxd or Letterboxd, the new movie social media platform that has taken off. Not that, but I have the same name on there. Catch me on there where I also do some reviews. I have 6 friends, so I'm trying to turn that into like 10.
Yeah. Let me see. What was your Letterboxd?
Also DJ Cleverlang.
DJ Cleverlang. And mine is the fake BMAR, just like my Twitter handle. So that's a BMARR. Look at us. We're both on brand. We're keeping it easy for the listeners out here. And you guys can, of course, follow the channel on Twitter at WG Everything, on Instagram at Wicked Get Everything, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Wicked Everything. We haven't, streamed in a little bit, but hey, maybe soon. Of course, the main channel is youtube.com/Wicked Everything. This channel is Wicked Good Podcast. We need to get 100 subscribers to get that custom URL. So help us out by telling your friends and family. Rate us on iTunes. Tell us we're doing a good job or a bad job. And if you want to say we're doing a bad job, still give us 5 stars, right?
Hell yeah.
That's reasonable. Of course, we have a lot of great shows coming up. We got Better Radio. We got a bunch of episodes of Wicked Good Show that you can go check out. And the new show, the Sunnydale Review, just dropped for the first time. So
Jojo Rabbit in 2 weeks, baby.
Oh boy, I cannot wait for that movie. Holy shit. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.
See ya.